Here's what's coming into view on Elevating Denver for February 2025. Consumer Input creates Denver's Inclusive Guide.
Envision yourself just living your best life.
Denver Sheriff Department has a word of warning.
There have been very sophisticated scammers, and unfortunately there have been victims that have fallen for this.
The Owl Club provides a vibrant community experience.
You sure you want to play that card, young fella?
These stories and more are just ahead on Elevating Denver.
Hello?
Hello, I'm Deputy Daryl Hopkins with the Denver Sheriff's Department. Is this Melissa Reeves?
Speaking.
Miss Reeves, I'm calling to notify you of a bench warrant that has been issued by the Denver County Court for your arrest. The warrant was issued due to your failure to meet the requirements of a jury summons. You are to be taken into custody until this matter is resolved.
Recently, there have been very sophisticated scammers who have called citizens and claimed to them that they have a warrant out for their arrest, either for not paying a traffic ticket or not showing up for jury duty or some other reason. And they tell them that if they don't pay a fine within a short amount of time, that one of my deputies will show up to their door and will take them into custody.
There's a warrant for your arrest with fines that total $25,000.
Wow, I can't afford $25,000.
You can post 10% of the bond today. That's $2,500. And remain out on bond until the court date is set.
Unfortunately, there are folks that have fallen victim to the scam and have transferred to the scammers significant amounts of money, some to the tune of thousands of dollars. For the past couple of years, we've seen this scam in several different iterations, and it's as sophisticated as I've seen thus far. They've gone so far as to use the badge numbers and names of some of our deputies. Although the badge numbers are fake, the names of the deputies and the staff members in our organization are real. So the scammers are very elaborate in the scheme and make the communication sound believable. Text, emails, any form of communication that a person receives, each and every one of them would be a scam. We've seen young people targeted. We've seen some of our seniors targeted. The age range is anyone who has a phone. And unfortunately, we've seen folks in all of those age ranges become victims to those scams as well. It's scary for anyone to receive a phone call saying that there's a warrant for your arrest and there is a Denver deputy that is on their way to pick you up to take you to jail. That's not a call that anyone wants to receive. And so naturally, the response from any citizen is to take care of the problem as quickly as possible. And that panic and the angst that folks have is something that we want to help folks to understand. Remain calm. What I would suggest is to end the call as soon as you can, to take the information that they have given you, the information that you see on your caller ID or the number that came across would be very helpful as local police departments, sheriff's department, and the attorney general begin to do their investigation to try to figure out who these folks are and to bring them to justice. So any information that you receive from those folks, make sure you capture that and pass that on to the law enforcement agency that you contact. We would never make a phone call like that. The Denver Sheriff's Department, the City and County of Denver court system would never make a phone call like that. Take your time, call the Sheriff's Department, call your local police department, get in contact with the Colorado Attorney General's office and verify the information that you've received. They may be local, they may be national, they may even be international. But what we can tell you is that they have done their homework. They research this department. They know the names of the staff that work here, the supervisors that work here, and they utilize those names in those communications. So what we tell folks is just be aware. They sound like they're actually law enforcement officers, but they're not. Those notices are generally sent in writing to a person's last known address. If someone has a question about something that they receive in writing, there should be a phone number, an official phone number that's on the bottom of that document. You can call that number, and you can also go on the website for the City and County of Denver, either to Denver County Courts, Denver District Courts, or contact the Sheriff's Department. We'd be more than happy to help folks understand that process. If you receive a phone call, please contact your local police department as soon as possible. Contact your local sheriff's department as soon as possible. Contact the Denver District Attorney's Office as soon as possible, or contact the Colorado Attorney General's office. The folks that are in those spaces are here to help you to resolve the issue and to also prevent that from happening to others as well.
If romance is dead, don't tell my husband, please. Because he still makes me a latte every morning. We see romance every single day at our office.
Here at the Denver Clerk and Recorder's office, Valentine's Day every year is basically the Super Bowl of love. Folks in Denver that choose to get married, it's an important decision, right? It's significant, it's special, it could be romantic, it could be something that they need to do, right? And we recognize all the above. And we want to make sure that people understand that, you know, we're here for you, and we try to make it special, and we try to make sure that people understand coming here, this is your day. And our deputies, all our folks right here, our recorders, we just love being part of the process.
Just make sure to do your application before you come in. And then we would just like to state that, you know, here at the Denver Clerk and Recorder's office, we believe in helping you with your marriage, regardless of gender or sexual orientation. We are here to make your day special. We welcome you. We have a high demand for appointments, and they always go by so fast. So we wanted to provide days where you could just come in without an appointment and still get married that day. We wanted to give our couples a head start to the year, for them to tie the knot with our New Year, New Beginnings event. And now for our Valentine's Day event, you know, like we say in our office, arrive single, leave married.
Every year we try to do a little bit of a theme, and this year it's all you need is love. And that's literally a strong message, especially nowadays, because all you need is love. Whether it's, you know, in our community, what we do, it's the basis for every public servant when they're serving the city and county of Denver, but especially for our staff, right? And especially for the folks that want to come and get married.
We just love experiencing every single marriage. You know, we always talk about how sometimes it may be the 7th marriage that one of our clerk is doing, you know, but for that couple, it is their special moment. So we try and make it as special for them. Every single couple that comes through, we welcome them, we cherish their love, and, you know, we help them in a really important step in their life.
There's something to be said about it. It's romantic, right, in its own way. And being able to see this happen and see couples come in and get married, it's pretty cool. It's special for them. It's meaningful for them. And to do it here in the city, you know, and to be part of that and to be able to sign that license is an honor. It's really cool. And sometimes people come totally decked out and super classy. Sometimes folks come in hoodies, right? And it's comfortable and it's safe. And that's the key part of it. And we want you to be able to have that special day and that sense of romance and that special moment right here. Come on down. Valentine's Day is always fun here. And hey, try to embody that all you need is love 60s vibe. A whole bunch of us in here, we may just show up in, you know, in some Beatles vibe. We encourage people to do so too, if they want to.
And see, when you sit down at the card table, you get to play with the big boys. They had their own designated seat. You didn't sit in their seat. You see? Omar sat here, Bob Schultz was sitting here.
The Owl Club was started in 1941. It is one of the few fraternal and social organizations still in existence within the Black community here in Denver, Colorado.
During the times that we were living in at that particular time, we as Black folks weren't allowed to go in and everywhere. So they formed their own type of venue just to have fun and hang out all night pretty much, which is why many of the wives used to call them night owls. Thus the name, the Owl Club.
That's what always got me. And I used to just sit back and just laugh.
Yeah, I did too, man.
I just laugh.
You sure you want to play that card, young fella?
I am a native of Denver, Colorado. Growing up in this city, I was always made aware of the Owl Club of Denver through the activities that were being held here. Just watching their impact, through the city, not only within the Owl Club, but in knowing a lot of those individuals and what they were able to do in their careers, in politics, law enforcement, just so many things that impacted our community. It seemed like the Owl Club had a part in that.
Most of the guys that started out in the Owl Club, they used to work as porters on the train. Some were school teachers, principals, what have you. Some were in the military. They came from various backgrounds. You can't go through life just going to work every day. You have to be able to fellowship, socialize, be able to interact and do things together, as opposed to not being able to go where you were restricted to go to certain places.
He fisted the ball, he swung, he hit it, he ran a third. You gotta go to first base. First, go to your right.
Their jobs were just kind of everyday type jobs, but they really made the most of it. They contributed to their community in other ways. And I think that's my takeaway. That's what I learned from the people that came before me. However might small it is, it means something to somebody. A standard agenda that we follow, what's going on with the housing, with our building that we've owned since 1963. The thing that's always on the agenda is pretty much our debutante ball.
The first debutante ball was 1951. Far too often they were recognized as the young men in sports and athletes, and whereas the young ladies who were outstanding achievers as well were not getting recognized.
The Owl Club made it a priority. They recognized that our young ladies were excelling in so many areas. Honor them for their accomplishments and make sure that the entire Denver community knew that these young ladies, these African-American young ladies who were not invited to be part of some of the other debutante events, did have an opportunity to be recognized for all the great things that they were doing.
It wasn't until my daughter, who became a debutante in 2013, where I really got the full appreciation of it. That whole day, that whole period, that whole time frame that my daughter went through the process and the day of the event was just, it was so empowering. The encouragement she got, the congratulations she got to being a debutante, the focus and the attention that the Debs get from the community at large. It's a great platform for these young ladies to really take off on their careers and go to the next level.
Over 1,600 young ladies have been presented as Owl Club debutantes. People like Condoleezza Rice, Allegra Happy Haynes, Cleo Parker Robinson, Dr. Renee Cousins. The list goes on and on. There's a network that they can be part of, for the rest of their lives. They proudly proclaim that, yes, I was an Owl Club debutante.
The young ladies first come together. No one knows anyone. They introduce themselves, and as time goes on, like when we have rehearsals, whatever, they get to meet new friends, sometimes long-lasting relationships throughout life. It just gave them a sense of, wow, I'm finally getting recognized for some of the hard work that I've done.
I envision that the Owl Club will grow and expand our involvement in the community. We hope to engage in other types of activities with young men, for instance. We want to be mentors. The Owl Club of Denver was recently listed in the state and national register of historic places. It is to honor the legacy of our members. The Owl Club has had an impact all over this country. And now that we have this national and state recognition, it seems to have helped us get a little bit more exposure to who we are and what we've been able to accomplish.
People don't really understand quite how dangerous the world can be for somewhat of a marginalized identity. So it's hard to imagine just how important it is to identify these spaces. Inclusive Guide is a review website, kind of like Yelp or Google, but instead of rating businesses on the products or services, like how good were the donuts, you can rate businesses on how you were treated in regard to your identity. We want to map out, using community buy-in, all of the safe spaces just for you. And through that vision, I just hope that we can end up leveraging the economy towards one of inclusion.
I've been told I'm a super user of Inclusive Guide. So when I saw what it was, I immediately got really excited because from my perspective as a mixed race, trans, neurodivergent person, places aren't always made with me in mind and haven't always been safe for me. And so I feel like usually we have to rely on whisper networks to find out that a place isn't safe. So I can log on and see who is going to be trans affirming from the perspective of people who have experienced it, who share my identity. And I think that's incredibly helpful. It's way better than whisper networks. The more information we have, the better chance we have at finding those places that are safe and that celebrate us and that welcome us completely as our authentic selves.
If you're an individual user, you might go on, create a profile, write down any demographics that are important to you that might inform how somebody at a business could treat you. So for me, it might be that I'm a woman, that I'm Black, maybe that I'm even mixed race, I'm queer, things like that. If I used adaptive equipment, such as a wheelchair or crutches. Inclusive Guide takes a page from the Green Book, almost literally, and people can submit businesses such as where we are right now, the Whittier Cafe. It's one of the first locations that was on the Inclusive Guide. It's a place that we love. It's a place that spreads word around the communities of color, immigrant communities to come here. It's a safe space for everyone. It's a perfect example of how we want that word to spread further. So on Inclusive Guide, anybody can rate and review. It doesn't just have to be spreading through our friends or our coworkers or our professional networks. Now that information is available even to visitors from out of state who might be wanting to come to Denver. They can go on inclusiveguide.com. They can search for businesses, coffee shops like this one that are perhaps owned by a person of color, which Whittier Cafe is. That have gender-neutral bathrooms, which they have here, and other features that might be really accessible to them and might be a beacon of safety and hope. We really want to promote and uplift places like Whittier that are doing a great job to attract people that they serve.
You know, it's natural for us to want to be inclusive, and it's natural for us to reach out to and connect with folks who feel like, you know, that they are marginalized or they don't have anywhere to go. It's second nature for a business like mine. That's not the case for most businesses, though. And so that's a powerful role that the Inclusive Guide has, is saying, hey, you have a space that doesn't feel welcoming. Here's some things you can do differently to be more welcoming. My hope is that people around the city and the state will reach out or reach in and say, hey, can you help us? We want to be more representative and we want to serve more of the general community. How do we do that?
A lot of people like to look for patterns of bias or discrimination, but you might not even be aware that these things are happening. Most of the time it's unconscious. So Inclusive Guide provides data behind customer issues so that businesses can start to tell if they do have things that they need to address. So if you are interested in signing up Inclusive Guide and being part of the Inclusive Guide community, we would love to have you. We would love everybody of all backgrounds. Just head to inclusiveguide.com. Once there, you sign up for an account. Once you have done that, you just start rating businesses, celebrating the places that celebrate you. And I just want to see this huge digital map of places where you can envision yourself just living your best life.
Dana Crawford is a true Denver pioneer. Many cannot imagine a modern Denver that had not been touched by Dana Crawford. If you take a walk downtown, her impact is visible everywhere. Crawford, who passed away at the age of 93, was originally from Salina, Kansas. She moved to Denver in 1954 and was enamored by the city's architecture and rich history. By the early 1960s, what is currently known as Larimer Square, the crown jewel of lower downtown, had fallen into ruin, and the 1400 block of Larimer Street was a notorious skid row and slated for demolition. Crawford knew something had to be done to save the maligned block that many believed was the epicenter and heart of creation for Denver itself. Without any real estate experience or money, Crawford was determined to take action and redeem the historic strip. She formed the organization Historic Denver with the goal of preserving Denver's architectural heritage. In doing so, she initiated a revolutionary approach to urban renewal that was the first of its kind in the United States. Pioneering the legendary redevelopment of Denver's historic Larimer Square was just the beginning, and Crawford would go on to be a crucial and driving force behind the Union Station redevelopment, preservation of the Oxford Hotel, the Flour Mill Lofts, the Ice House, as well as her work with Coors Field and many other properties. Some claim she had redeveloped more than 1 million square feet of historic property in the city of Denver. It would be nearly impossible to walk any stretch of downtown without encountering Dana Crawford's impact, and hard to imagine our city streets without her vision come to life. Preserving history was Dana's passion, and through her service she has become a foundational part of history itself. Crawford's legacy lives on at the University of Colorado Denver's College of Architecture and Planning with the Dana Crawford Preservation Program, and her name hangs in a place of honor as she is the namesake of the Crawford Hotel at Union Station. Stay elevated by subscribing to the city's YouTube page for these stories and more. And stay tuned to our social media channels for more content. Don't miss our new episodes of Elevating Denver. Thanks for watching, Denver.